start doing that small stuff.
What did I read today? It's kind of interesting reading this, talk about things I guess with disasters in the air, like aviation related. And for this, they often talk about things like bird strikes or drones. Well, this one, apparently a bird struck a US Air Force jet or something like that, and because of that, it dropped, I guess, like a fake training bomb. It says Moody A-10 dropped object reported. And what is this object? It says the BDU-33 is a 25-pound training munition used to simulate the M1A 82 500-pound bomb. It is approximately 22.5 inches long and in blue color. Although the training munition is inert, it is equipped with a small pyrotechnic charge and should not be handled. It says during a routine training mission, an A-10C Thunderbolt II assigned to the 23rd Fighter Group suffered a bird strike, which caused an inadvertent release of 3 BDU-33s, a small non-explosive training munition today. And I guess generally speaking, they're just warning people, if you see this, do not touch it, like just report it. Can you imagine if that actually fell on a car or a house or something like that? It just reminds me of so many things in terms of aviation related incidents and stuff. I've yet to really hear like the drone be an extreme case of something that causes, death and stuff like that. But like here, I would assume it's just, isolated incident, move on, carry on as is. Or now people are going to say, oh my god, look, a bird can knock basically a missile out of that plane. What would a drone do, etc, etc. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the direction. But then that kind of leads into, I guess, people flying drones just recreationally and all that, and how they're restricted because of, I guess, fear of stuff like this. So this article is interesting. It says Chicago's drone law pits residents' privacy concerns against hobbyists looking for a place to fly. Residents are concerned about spying and annoyed by hovering drones. Operators say the city's law is regularly misapplied, leading to harassment and no place to fly. A close encounter with an unidentified flying object last month left a condo resident in University Village feeling unnerved. She was trying to get lost in a book at her University Commons home when she heard the hum of a small hovering object approach as it parked itself level with her porch. And it says here, quote, "I flipped it, the bird, and it lowered and took off pretty quick," said Jackie, who didn't want her last name used. "It just really creeps me out." So it brings up that point, I guess, how local laws kind of contradict their federal laws over there. It says in 2015, Chicago became the first big city to regulate what the Federal Aviation Administration calls unmanned aircraft systems and everyone else calls drones. The technology was advancing so quickly that we wanted to get ahead of it. But a consequence, drone enthusiasts say, is a law that has effectively banned flyers from practicing their hobby in the city. So while they say because of this, a lot of people phone in things, I guess, like the police to try to report people flying drones in various places, it says, but drone operators say they're frequently harassed by officers tasked with enforcing laws they don't fully understand. And for their example, it says, a video posted in May to the Chicago Drone Pilots Facebook group shows a CPD officer telling a group of operators it's illegal for them to fly anywhere in Chicago, much less the lakefront. Dan Barker, a licensed operator who helps run the Facebook group and owns a drone videography company, says, if 10 cops approach you, you get 10 different answers. That's true in many cases where a lot of people actually just kind of, I guess you could say, interpret the laws the way they want to interpret it if they don't like something and all that. So it's interesting here, it says, attorney Jeffrey Antonelli, who specializes in drone law, believes it's only a matter of time before the city's ordinance is overturned in federal court. Quote, only the FAA has the right to regulate airspace above the city. I know there's often talk here where people say all the drone laws and stuff should just be based on the federal laws, then you don't have to deal with all the local stuff and all that. And of course, some people say, nope, it's a good idea to ban the drones because they say, if you experience it, you know the feeling. It's an invasion of privacy in terms of drones flying near people. It says, Barker and Wickersey say they understand residents' privacy concerns, but believe non-military drones make poor spying tools, and those fears are a result of technology still being new. While they're okay with regulations, they would like to see the city work with operators to provide reasonable accommodations. So it's pretty much, I guess, a common theme everywhere in the world, huh? I mean, even with those drones and stuff, again, I agree with that. these consumer drones that people fly, I don't think it's very good at spying. If people want to spy on you, they'll sit in a corner with like a telephoto zoom lens or something like that with a regular camera. It'll be kind of, I don't know, weird if you don't notice this drone like right in front of your face, considering the cameras are like wide angle. It makes me think again, it's not just drone flyers that need to be educated per se, like don't fly in the airport. It's regular people in general, just way too much hysteria and misinformation in terms of what people do with the drone, what it actually sees and all that. Funny enough, I was actually reading a piece of news just recently where apparently one of the new Google phones is gonna have telephoto features on it. Like what's next? People are gonna say that's it, ban smartphones and so forth now because they have telephoto lens. Alright, see you guys later.